It's been 30 minutes and it's time to roll out our pasta dough. I am using the pasta attachments for my KitchenAid, so I'm using the roller attachment as well as the fettuccine attachment. You just want to kind of squish this down a little bit. Make sure you get some flour on there so that as you put it through the attachment, it doesn't stick and get stuck. If you do not have the attachments, that's totally fine. Just get your rolling pin out and you're going to want to roll this very thin. I always start out on a setting of 1 and I pull it through twice, and then I just work my way down to a 5, but each pass I do a pass through twice on each number. And then once you get to a 5, we will have a very lengthy piece of dough that we're going to want to cut in half. And you can see all that striping? I think it looks really pretty, but you will notice that once you go to cook it up, your pieces are going to be solid green. So don't worry about that marbleizing. It really has no bearing on the outcome color of the pasta because by the time it sits and it goes through this attachment several times, and then we put it through the fettuccine attachment, and then we boil it, it will be solid green. So just go through, do all your passes, and then we will swap out the attachment and do the fettuccine attachment. Again, if you don't have these attachments, you'll want to consult the video where I show you how to make the hand cut fettuccine, but it's very simple. But just jump over to that lesson when you're ready to begin to cut your fettuccine, and all the instructions are right there in that video. So now that I've got my green all rolled out, I'm actually going to do some neutral colored pasta. I think it looks really pretty tossed together with the natural colored pasta with the green. So I'm going to go ahead and go through the same process that I did with the green dough with my neutral colored dough. So just going to get a little bit of that flour on there so that it doesn't stick to the rollers. And then also just take care, make sure that you've got your rolled out dough all the way on your mat and that you have enough flour down so that it doesn't stick to anything while it's sitting and resting as you roll out your neutral colored pasta. So same drill as before, just, start out on number 1. Roll it through twice on each setting all the way down to a 5, and then you'll be ready to swap the attachment out and start on our fettuccine noodles. So now I've got both of my doughs rolled out. I want to put some flour on top of them. These are going to go through that fettuccine attachment, the KitchenAid fettuccine pasta attachment. So just like when we rolled it, we want to make sure that the dough isn't sticky because we don't want to gum up that attachment. So just put a liberal amount of flour on it. I like to cut my pasta in half, the sheets in half. I just find it's easier to handle when it's going through that fettuccine attachment. It's just easier to control all those noodles. By all means, if you want to, rock out those super long fettuccine noodles and have that Lady in the Tramp moment with your pasta, by all means, knock yourself out. For me, I like to cut the sheets in half. So just give it a good pass through, gently set that off to the side, and then just continue that with the remaining sheets of pasta. So again, I'm doing 2 different colors. I really like the way that it looks in the serving bowl when you've got a color plus the natural color of the pasta. It just is visually pleasing, but if you want to do just one color, you certainly could do that. The green would be really fun for kids, especially like elementary school kids. If you wanted to do like a green eggs and ham night, you could use the noodles, the green noodles, and do like a pasta version of it. Maybe do a carbonara with it. That would be really fun. So once we get all these noodles cut up, then we're going to go ahead and begin to boil them. You'll want to go through and make sure you separate these. Sometimes they will, continue to stick even though you put them through that pasta attachment. So just get them separated. There'll be some odd shaped pieces. If you don't mind that those are in your pasta, then, that's totally fine. You will want to make sure that these are floured. So if you're not going to cook them up right away, make sure that you keep them nice and floured. And if you are going to let them dry, make sure you lay them all out flat, because however you lay them to dry is how they're going to dry. So if they're all kinked up and they're in a pile, they're going to dry in a pile. And then you're not going to have a very good experience when you go to boil them. So definitely, if you're going to let these sit for any extended period of time, just make sure it's flat. Now that we have our noodles all made, it's time to boil